Okay, so here we are with another action figure unboxing, and it's from a line we haven't done in a long time, Masters of the WWE Universe. Yeah, I really liked this line back in the day. It got basically phased out and replaced with the WWE Superstars line, which, I do like that line. I think it's a good line, but I miss the days when it was a crossover with Masters of the Universe, and we had a little bit more of a fantasy element to it. I did think that was a lot of fun. So we got a pick on the back here of Chyna facing off against Macho Man Randy Savage, which is not a match I remember ever happening in real life, but in the world of Masters of the WWE Universe, we've got uh, superstars from all over the the entire history of the WWE and the WWF, as it was known, when I was a youngster. So we see the cross-sell artwork here. We got a second Rey Mysterio, also a variant on Stratos, heroic high flyer, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the unpredictable bionic rattlesnake. We can see they made him a mashup with Trapjaw, and then Chyna herself, who looks to be a mashup of She-Ra. So she's basically wearing like a variant on She-Ra's costume, but in a silver, black, and purple rather than red, white, and gold. So and it's got the kind of exploding uh, blue rocks over a purple background, a different color from the original Masters of the Universe packaging, but obviously an homage. And we got the gray skull arena in here. So let's go ahead and get her opened up. The ninth wonder of WWE Eternia. Of course, Andre was the eighth wonder of the world, but I was never able to find that Andre the Giant figure, and it's expensive now. This one was not so expensive. I got her for like $10 off of Amazon, and I think she's still rather inexpensive there. So this is no longer even a. Remember how when I was opening these up, I would make fun of how it's like a two-page comic book. Well, you don't get any comic book here. It's just a single leaf of paper, and it's got on the front with Chyna and the Undertaker, who I was never able to find, and Macho Man again, and that's the NWO version of Macho Man. And it's got a little bio on the back, so let's go ahead and read it. It says, Chyna, ninth wonder of WWE Eternia. The great battle has begun. A great darkness threatens to consume WWE Eternia as the faction of evil superstars from parts unknown to control the balance of power. But the heroic superstars accept the challenge to defend the planet and to determine who are the masters of the WWE universe. So not really much of a bio on Chyna, just more of an explanation of the universe that we have here. Height 5'10" superstar powers, beauty and brawn. Foreign objects, princess power crown, battle axe of beautification. So we saw a few characters in this line who, you know, because of various eras of WWE, there wasn't one character that was supposed to be He-Man, but like a few took some He-Man influences from them. For example, you know, uh, the Rattlesnake Mountain version of uh, Hulk Hogan, which I was never able to get, unfortunately. That one had the armor from Flying Fists He-Man, and also had the axe from the regular Origins version of He-Man. And then The Rock had a He-Man type of armor, and he also had Man at Arms Mace. Nobody had the sort of power because I think they didn't want to make any of these characters definitively He-Man, but they all kind of some of these like I said had sort of He-Man type elements. John Cena not only had a figure like he had He-Man's axe and shield in the same He-Man type armor that The Rock had. Also, Ultimate Warrior had that kind of armor. In at least one figure that they did of Warrior. But uh, John Cena also had one He-Man esque aspect that none of the other characters had, which he had his own Faker. So there were two John Cenas, and one of them was actually Faker. who was in Masters of the WWE Universe, was a robot that had been built by Triple H. So I like that Triple H can build robots. Anyway, let's go ahead and get Chyna out of the package, and she's got rubber tabs about each of her limbs. And go ahead and get her out. And since this crown is supposed to be a loose piece, I don't want to lose it. I'm gonna be very careful with that. And like I said, that's removable, so we can pull that out. And you can see they did a better job making this removable crown than they did the actual Origins She-Ra. And you can see that this one is more based on the animated version of She-Ra's crown. All right, and we now that we got the crown off, we can see Chyna's face sculpt a little bit better. And I don't think it's like necessarily like a bad likeness of Chyna, but I don't think it's like that great of a likeness of Chyna either. It's definitely a later version of it after she had her jaw kind of shaved down a little bit. So, all right, I don't mean any disrespect when I say that, but we all know she had some cosmetic surgery, right? I'm not trying to badmouth her for it, you know. So anyway, she's got uh, arms that are just kind of plain arms, don't have any kind of wraps around them. She does have these elbow pads, but they don't really fit around her elbow very well. And you can see they're like slid all the way up onto her forearms, so they might as well just gave her like armbands and forgot about the elbow pads. They don't work out very well. She's got kind of a plain pelvis, doesn't have a whole lot sculpted into it, doesn't have a whole lot of detail. She does not have buttocks, by the way. She's got the newer type of Masters of the Universe knees for females. So that's good. She does not have the kind of awkward looking knees the earlier Origins figure has. Very curly hair, like almost like a George Perez Wonder Woman. And you can see that her bodice is very much based off of She-Ra. That is the same exact mold of the original Origins She-Ra, which is more based on the original toy than what she looked like in the cartoons. She's got the same Tila bracers, and she's got She-Ra type boots, but molded in black. This would actually be a really good figure, I think, to use as a base if you wanted to make a figure of Catra. Actually, I think if you a toy accurate version of Catra, not how she looked on the cartoon. And she comes with a cape, which I'm pretty sure this is just a remold of the classics She-Ra cape. And you can see it's a black cape with a purple choker with a little bit of silver detail to hold it on. So let's go ahead and pop off her head so we can pop that cape back on there. And what happened to the bag? I think I must have dropped that. There was a little bag that the cape was in. So there's what she looks like with the cape. And I'm pretty sure that that bag, whatever I did with it, it's still got that the other accessory in there. Where did it go? I think I took the cape out and I just kind of set it aside or tossed it aside or wasn't giving much thought to it because I was more focused on getting that cape out of there. And now I can't find what I did with that bag. Well, anyway, the other accessory she's got in there, if I can find it, it should be the original She-Ra action figure came with a comb that was molded so it also looked like an axe. I'm going to put her tiara back in while I'm thinking about it. They call it a crown, but I always think of it as a tiara. Put that back in before I forget about that and lose that somewhere. But yeah, there she is back with her She-Ra crown. So yeah, they other female figures in this line, you know, you had Becky Lynch, and she was more of a Tila type character. And then we had Stephanie McMahon, who obviously would be Evil Lynn, and I think she worked out pretty well in that role. And I really liked that figure because I think, like, in some ways, that was a better Evil Lynn figure than the actual Evil Lynn figure that they made. It had a lot of aspects that I liked about it. Uh, hmm. Where is that little bag? I am so frustrated that I misplaced that. Because I know I took it out because the cape was attached into it. It's not on there anymore. Mm. Well, she had a silver axe that I seem to have misplaced. Just my luck. So I cut through it with the X-Acto knife. I'll put the X-Acto knife back. For once, didn't lose my X-Acto knife, but maybe I was concentrating too much on my X-Acto knife, and that's why I keep finding that little bag of Legos, and that's frustrating because I know that's not the thing, but I keep picking it up. Maybe this is it. No, it's just that bag again. So, well, sorry about that, folks. It does not look like I, took the best care of that, unfortunately. Ah, digging around looking for it, and I'm just not finding it. But as we say on Earth, c'est la vie. So anyway, I think they did a pretty good job with this figure for what it is. It's a decent enough mashup of an actual wrestling character and one of the Masters of the Universe characters. Is this one it? There's another little bag. No, if it is, then there it is. All right, we found the comb. Cool. So the people who would have had the original She-Ra back in the '80s would remember that she came with a comb and to comb her hair. And you can see that the comb is also an axe. So that way, boys who would buy She-Ra because she's He-Man's sister would have, use for it. Because we didn't comb dolls' hair. It's not something boys did. I mean, I'm sure some boys like to comb her hair. So don't at me in the comments. It's not like, I'm not saying like universally, but I'm saying for the most part, it's not something that boys like to do. It's more a thing that girls like to do. But She-Ra was supposed to be a character that was supposed to appeal to boys also. So, they'd find other ways to make the character appealing to boys. But I remember the classics version came with the comb that was modified into an axe. So it was a nice kind of gesture. And with this one, it is too. It carries on a nice gesture to figure out a way to get a comb in here and still have it make sense, even though she's got plastic hair, is what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and talk about our articulation. So she's got a ball jointed head, which rotates all the way around. Even with the hair and the cape, it still rotates around pretty well. She can look down about that far, up about that far, tilt her head kind of quizzically from side to side. But all that kind of movement is at least somewhat hindered by the hair. Now, of course, her arms rotate all the way around at the shoulders, and they move up about that far. And then she's got a single joint of articulation of the elbow, which straightens out about that far, bends about that far, and that, of course, rotates all the way around. She's got wrists that rotate all the way around with a horizontal hinge, so they move back and forth like that. She's got a waist that turns all the way around, and like all Origins figures, she like comes into pieces. Like her waist separates, her arms separate, her legs should separate, but it's easier said than done. Chyna can kick up about that far. She can bend the knee about that far, and then the knee rotates all the way around. That is a single jointed knee. And then the boot cut rotates all the way around, and she can point her toe down about that far, point her toe up about that far, and of course the ankle rotates all the way around. So this is a fairly inexpensive figure to pick up, and she's one of those Masters of the WWE type figures that I like, where like even if you didn't know anything about this character as a wrestler, she still looks like she could fit in with He-Man's world fairly well. I mean, she's basically a palette swapped version of She-Ra. And like I said, I think she'd be a good figure to use as a base if you wanted to make a more toy accurate version of Catra. maybe mix up some parts onto her, make her like a furry loincloth. But it's a little more purple the outfit than the pink that the original Catra had. But I think that would work anyway. I would probably just keep her outfit purple and not even bother to paint it pink. But anyway, this is a pretty cool figure, especially since I was able to get her pretty cheap. And it's a good thing too, because I never saw this wave in the stores. So it was like one of the last waves they made. So I don't guess Walmart had too many of them. They had a lot of Ultimate Warriors clogging up the shelves at my local Walmart. The purple and yellow version of Ultimate Warrior. No, wait, that was Superstars. I'm sorry. Which was the one? Was it also? I think it was also Ultimate Warrior, but it was the one with the furry cape. I bought a few of those for custom purposes too, but whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, all the Finn YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this figure and Chyna in general. Unfortunately, she passed away far too soon. She's no longer with us, but she is remembered and did leave quite a bit of a legacy. I'm pretty sure that uh, the subcategory of women's professional wrestling would not be anywhere near what it is if Chyna hadn't come along and become such a big name at the time. Rhea Ripley, who's one of my favorite wrestlers currently, and I don't really keep up with wrestling as much as I used to, but I like her. She's cool. Uh, she's one that I think was kind of a spiritual successor to China in a lot of ways. So yeah, her legacy is still going strong despite the fact that she's no longer with us. But she's not forgotten. She's got her own He-Man action figure after all. So not many people can claim that. Anyway, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.